Dr. Brandon Nappi, thanks so much for coming to the kitchen table, if you will, and talking about what will be the Copper Beech Institute, which is in West Hartford. A spiritual place, a mindful place, and we're going to get to what it is that your mission statement is and what you're trying to do. But let's go back and get some background on you so that we can build the story. You're from Waterbury, Connecticut.
Indeed.
You end up at Notre Dame. Why?
Well, visiting the campus of Notre Dame, it was very clear that this was a very special community, a community in the Midwest.
And I should say I'm from South Bend, so I know the Golden Dome. Yes.
A warm place where they've gathered around this central principle, this central question that everyone at Notre Dame asks themselves, and that's how can I be of service to the world, to our community? And that spirit of service was born there in those days under the Golden Dome.
You thought about and entered the seminary.
I did.
And decided not to because you met the woman you married.
I did.
And had kids. But as you started down that road to a spiritual life, and you ended up at Yale, did you always know you were going to do something that was going to lead you to spirituality to help others?
I did. I wanted to give myself to something fully. I wanted to find a heroic way to be of service.
And how does one know that? Because did you start knowing that in high school?
It was a deep pull. This question was so clear to me that I knew that my life was not my own. I knew that I belonged to something greater, I belonged to the people around me. And it was unclear at the time how I was going to embody that spirit of service. And so the circle widened. I began studying medieval theology at Notre Dame, came to Yale in an ecumenical environment, and so the circle widened. I was studying with people from many different walks of life, all ages, many different Christian denominations, and so the circle got a bit wider for me at Yale. And then having worked at a beautiful Catholic retreat center for 14 years, Holy Family Retreat Center, I found that I wanted to be of service in even a wider way than just in the Christian community. So I discovered mindfulness, this capacity that we all have, all human beings, religious, non-religious alike, to be aware and to be present.
Let's dig deeper into that, because you talk a lot on your website, and you have built the Copper Beech Institute. We're going to talk about that in a moment. Mindfulness, that's a word. What does it really mean in today's society?
Right. In a society of sound bites, of incredible velocity.
Greed, I think. It's all about me, the selfie, you know, all of the stuff that we live with. What does it mean, mindfulness? And you keep that central to your core of this institute that you're building.
It's right at the center of our practice. So mindfulness is moment-to-moment awareness. It's our capacity to just be present to life that's unfolding moment by moment. So we've been graced with this great capacity of our minds to project ourselves into the future, to plan, to problem solve, to worry. We're also quite able to revisit the past, to rehearse something that's happened in the past. But of course, our life is only unfolding right here in the present moment.
Are we wasting a lot of time, do you think, not centering on the now, looking around us, the big picture? I got to get somewhere, got to get somewhere, got to get somewhere, and not looking down and, I don't know, seeing a flower, seeing a weed, seeing a bird. Are we missing all of this in society today?
So some recent research suggests that 60% of the time we're distracted.
Oh, great.
Imagine this. If we're living 100 years, 60 years.
It makes sense. We're texting while driving. Kids are getting killed. It's I gotta. There's no wait for anything.
So what mindfulness does is it helps us to cultivate presence. How are we available in life to one another, to the moment, to the challenges that are in front of us? So this great gift of human life is so precious, but we're missing most of it. So mindfulness gives us a way to actually practice being here. It's not something we just say, be in the moment, but we actually need a practice. Football quarterbacks practice, right, for thousands of hours a year to do what they do well. And happiness itself can be practiced. What we believe in mindfulness practice is that all the conditions for happiness are here if we wake up.
There are courses taught in happiness. at Harvard, at some other institutions. Are you partnering with somebody as you're building this Copper Beech Institute, as you grow compassion and mindfulness and trying to get folks to center on now and actually having a conversation with each other? Where is that?
Right. So even the practice of deep listening, the simple act of listening is such a gift in this world of distraction. So yes, we're bringing thought leaders from all over the country, from all over the world to visit us.
I see some of them. And you're going to be talking about how we rise, discovering passion, purpose, and resilience, yoga weekends for peace and balance, awakening courage, faith, and compassion with mindfulness. We should say that the Copper Beech Institute, and we should get to that now, is on 50 acres at a monastery in West Hartford. It is non-denominational, correct?
That's right.
What is it that you're building here?
We're building a place, I hope, where people can learn to live the richness of life, to find ways of being in service to one another. We hope that mindfulness practice leads to deeper happiness, deeper joy, but also a deeper sense of compassion and care for one another. So the beautiful paradox, Anne, is that when we care for ourselves and have greater compassion for ourselves, research is showing that we're more inclined to reach out to those around us. So we're trying to create a community where we have the wisdom to live with ease in the midst of any situation, in the midst of the deepest suffering that we as human beings can experience. So we're practicing not running away from the deepest pain that we can feel. Life is painful. We suffer. And so how do we meet that with grace, with ease, and with an inner reservoir of deep joy that transcends the suffering that all of us will experience in life?
Copper Beech Institute. Where did it come from? Where did the name come from? And where did you say, okay, I think this is the answer I've been looking for in your young life?
Right. Well, on these beautiful 50 acres, we have 3 copper beech trees that were planted some 60 years ago by Passionist priests and brothers, a religious community that founded this monastery in which Copper Beech resides. And the copper beech tree, as I've discovered recently, is an ancient symbol of wisdom. The Romans used its bark to make paper and preserve their prized bits of wisdom. So the copper beech tree is a symbol of wisdom, but it's also a symbol of solitude. Because of the dense leaf structure of the copper beech tree, nothing else grows immediately underneath it. So this paradox of solitude and wisdom seemed to be the perfect name. And of course, organically, these trees have grown out of our ground. And in Europe, in fact, they planted copper beech trees at crossroads when there was a decision to be made, when one path needed to be abandoned and another path needed to be embraced. And so I think that's a beautiful metaphor for what we do in our trainings and our retreats. We have 150 bedrooms, and so typically people will come to us, and part of discovering deeper joy is letting go of something, but embracing something else as well.
Describe to me what happens when I show up. What do I see? Are there flowers? What's on the grounds?
So our 50 acres are wooded. There's gardens, there's walking paths. We have a beautiful labyrinth. We have an art gallery. So in fact, the space in which we inhabit, we have 4 nonprofits who together create a community of communities, in fact. The Golden Thread Gallery is in our space, showing 5 shows a year from artists all around the country. Holy Family is this historic Catholic retreat center that's been welcoming people with the most open-heartedness of ministries for 60 years. The Spiritual Life Center trains spiritual companions that meet with people one-on-one. And so there's a wonderful balance at Copper Beech of refuges and spaces where people can disappear, they can relax.
You invite people to shut off their cell phone.
Shut off the cell phone, but they could also be with other people. Often sharing with strangers can be really healing. So we'd love to watch people walking around, sunbathing, sitting beneath a tree, reading. So there's this sense of seclusion and being protected in this refuge. And when you come, your family, we welcome you home.
There's a give back piece to this. You went to the seminary, you said, for a year or so, and then you decided to marry. But and I believe this too, it's important to give back. You cannot just take from the earth. You've got to give to help others. Where's the give back piece here?
Yeah. Well, it was really, really important to me when we were creating this new institute that compassion and service would not only be at the center of our mission, but we would also be embodying it. We'd be practicing what we were preaching. So we've been in wonderful dialogue with the students at Grace Academy, a wonderful tuition-free school for middle school girls in Hartford, some of the most vulnerable girls in the city. And so we'll be teaching mindfulness and with their school community, with the students, with the faculty, bringing them on retreat and supporting them in their incredible work. We also will have a presence in the jail in Hartford. So part of something that's been a part of my life that I have just a deep heart for is reaching out to those who are incarcerated. There's great suffering in the midst of jails, and we know that these folks will be back out on our streets. And for those who are ready to make different choices, healthier choices, wiser choices, we want to be there to support them too. Is
this the path you think Copper Beech Institute is, or is there more to come for you? You're at a young stage in your life. This is the beginning. Is there a bigger picture to get folks online with stopping, look around you, have a conversation? The art of conversation is being lost. Is there more, or don't you know you're going to grow this and see what happens? Yeah, I think the real mindfulness practice for me right now is just to keep pace with the energy and what's unfolding. So we're already planning programs for 2 years down the road. We plan to do work with athletic coaches, with social workers and psychologists and physicians and school teachers. So this is great fun. We have a wonderful partnership too with the University of Massachusetts Medical School Center for Mindfulness. As some of your viewers may know, research is emerging every day on the benefits of mindfulness practice, and the University of Massachusetts Medical School have been at the forefront leading the charge, and they've been an epicenter in this teaching and research, and so we've partnered with them. So they will travel to us and also offer their 8-week course in mindfulness. So there's so many exciting things coming our way, and we really believe that this sanctuary that we are creating, that has been so nurtured over 60 years by monks and priests, will be able to become available to people from all different backgrounds. Can you imagine if you make Connecticut a stress-free zone just with the Copper Beech Institute? What could happen? The stress is huge in everybody's life. It is. And the research is suggesting that it's growing. So we can be a great light to one another, to just breathe, to just listen, to just be available. And we have some wonderful teachers who will come to our center to help us do that. Opens in September. Opens in September. Dr. Brandon Nappi, thanks so much for coming on. Thanks, Anne. Peace. Peace.